podcast. Day 3, Sema? Right? Today's Thursday.
Today's Thursday.
Today's day 3.
That's 3, but I've been here since Sunday, so it's like day 5.
Oh, well, I don't know how you guys do it. You run around a lot more, and you've been here all week. I saw Sal earlier, and he was like literally running, and I was I'm like, that poor guy, man. He just looked tired.
It's funny because like water becomes a commodity, and it's like you're putting in so much water in your body, but none of it's coming out, and you're just like, what is going on? But your body's in there just like, yeah, that's the dry air. Yep. So water is a commodity. I am not ashamed to say I have a huge suitcase, and there's like at least 5 pairs of shoes in there. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm like literally the stereotype.
My wife made fun of me when I was packing. She's like, you're actually checking a bag? And I was like, well, yeah, because I need at least 3 outfits. And she's like, why? I was like, because I'm going to sweat through one in the morning.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to go back, shower, change. And then if I have to go out again for dinner or whatever.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. I need different looks. And like, they say don't wear the same pair of shoes every single day, because the next day, then your foot, that's how you get blisters. That's like, it's all compressed and needs time to uncompress. Yep. But like, yeah, I mean, we were comparing steps earlier, and we're both in the tens of thousands, and it's like, it's a lot. So, and then you got the evening events. Yep. And, dress to impress when you're going to like the Sema and PRI pack reception. And well, I mean,
depends.
It was good to have you guys there.
Yeah. Thanks for having us. It was a lot of fun. Good to see everybody and get everybody together.
You got your challenge coin?
Got my challenge coin. Yeah. That's I'm going to post that. I was making that post to schedule it for Friday, I think. So you guys will have seen it by then. But
I was very proud of that one.
It's a good one.
It's a good design.
I'm glad they approved it too.
It was one of those things where Karen Bailey Chapman gave me like instructions. Like we had talked about it, and I was just like, and we had talked about having FAFO on it. Yeah. And it was one of those things where she messages me and she's like, hey, so I'm thinking this is what it needs to have and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, this is what I designed. And she goes, even better.
It's good, so good.
So it's the flaming, it's the eagle in front of the flames, and the eagle's holding the wrenches. And
we did, my fire department did, I survived COVID challenge coins for everybody that was like in the department during COVID.
No kidding.
And it's like the challenge, like they did a big like embossed 3D version of like the molecular virus.
Oh no.
And that's on the challenge coin, so they're gonna go right next to each other. Yeah, it's a little haunting, but it's also like we survived it, especially with the fire department stuff. It was a long 2 years.
Yeah, I can imagine. But like Sema's a jam. I mean, it's it's a lot of long early mornings, long nights. The time zone, honestly, it takes its toll. I mean, I was dealing with a head cold when I came out here, and I'm fortunately kind of over that point.
That's good.
But like, it's like we lost that extra hour of sleep, or we picked up an hour of sleep, but it screws you up on the time zone change.
And I kept thinking we were only 2 hours behind home, not 3.
It's more like 4 with your body. Yeah. So it's like multiple mornings where I've woken up at like 3 a.m.
Yep.
And just like wide awake, and it's like telling my body, go back to sleep. Yeah. It is dark. It is not time to get up.
We went to bed last night, and Jed's like, I'm sleeping in. And I'm like, okay. 5 o'clock this morning, he was up, and I'm like, I thought you said you were sleeping in. And he goes, oh, I'm going back to sleep. I'm just awake.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know how that works, but I'm going to go back to sleep too.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're all screwed up, but week's almost over.
Over.
Start to relax.
But it's good. It's seen a lot of really. It's nice to see familiar faces. I think what's surprising to me, this is my second SEMA show. Okay. But I hadn't been here more than like literally at the ribbon cutting ceremony. Someone came up to me like, Matt. It was like a guy that I met last year. Like I haven't connected with him since then. I remember who he was. He's a good dude from New Mexico. But he's like, Matt. And I was just like, how does this guy recognize me? But then I realized when you are with Sema, you're a little bit of a, you stand out in the wild.
I mean, it's not, yes, that's true, but it's also the whole show, right? Like I ran into somebody walking over here just 20 minutes ago that I hadn't seen since PRI last year.
Oh, for real?
And we've tried to be in contact with each other. We just missed each other.
Yeah.
And I was like zombie walking up the sidewalk, and he was like, Tom. And I'm like, oh, hey.
Yeah.
He's like, I owe you an email. I'm like, no, you're good. Like, I get it. Like, I have 400 emails I got to respond to just from this week. But yeah, that's one of my favorite things about the show is like how no matter what, it's what'd you say, 160?
160,000 people,
and yet
then
you're still running into people when you're walking the hallway.
Yeah, and the X Factor is going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow's it's been previously called the Friday Experience, but they're being a little bit more overt on the branding. It's called Sema Open to the public.
Right.
This is the day that the enthusiasts can come in and actually walk the floors, as opposed to, Sema is largely the entire convention center campus. So that's the inside and the outside. The outside stuff is there's a lot of cars out there, a lot of trucks. We've got the activation, we got the horsepower rodeo, Hoonigan's got their thing.
A lot of rubber,
a lot of smoke, and a lot of people just milling around, walking very slowly, taking pictures, looking at things. But previously the public can't go on the show floor and actually see a lot of the builds that are in there, talk to people, learn about the products, that sort of thing. Tomorrow it's going to be that open to the public thing. We're pretty excited to see how that turns out. I think it opens things up for the enthusiast crowd, people that SEMA show being a bucket list item for.
Yeah.
It used to be that you needed to know someone, and it still helps to know someone because if someone works for SEMA, they get some guest passes and they can get them to you, and you can have that great experience. But for the most part, most people are kind of out in the cold and they just see the stuff on social media and all the pictures, and maybe they hear from a friend like, oh, I went to SEMA, and my friend Jordan, he started coming a couple years ago,
nice.
Maybe not legally.
So. Well, it's funny though, because like that's what it was for me growing up, right? Like SEMA was a goal. Like I was a car guy, I knew I wanted to work in the industry, I knew what I was gonna do. So like it wasn't the end goal. Like I didn't start a business to come to SEMA, but as soon as I had the business, I was like, I'm going to SEMA.
Right.
Like that was like, I got to check that box. I think it's great that the public's coming in, like, because there is like, I've always felt like even though you have to be industry and get the pass and apply and go through that, it's still very much just a bunch of car guys.
100%.
Like I would almost argue working is the bonus of the show.
Yeah.
Like it's, if I didn't do a single thing work-wise, I would still enjoy the show.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would be here for 4 days.
Yeah.
The conversations that turn what you think is going to be a half hour into a 2 hour, and now you're late for 2 other meetings. Like that's all part of it. But I think it's definitely interesting, and I feel like I don't want to speak for them, but I feel like the manufacturers and the companies are embracing that a little bit. Like the product lines, the things they're bringing here, they are stepping it up a little bit because they're recognizing the public's going to come in, they're going to get more publicity. It's the end of the day. Like you're just seeing cooler displays, bigger displays, like elevation, off-road or off-grid trucks, like having the F450 stacked on 2 F450s.
Right.
As a shop, I don't need to see that. As a car guy, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna be all over Instagram.
Wait, is that the one where they've got it's the two on the side and there's the one across from it? Yeah. We get to do there's a staff tour. It's mostly a new employee, first time attendee kind of staff tour that we do on Sunday night, and I go because it's good to get my sea legs and see everything that's going on. But the secret is they also give out a little goodie bag from the show team as a gift to the people that participated in the tour and hung out for the whole thing. And there's lip balm in there, and in this environment, that is gold.
Deserts of Las Vegas.
But I saw that, and then we were all marveling because Sunday night, nothing's put together. Right. Everything's like there's forklifts everywhere,
there's
and cardboard,
just 3 trucks, and they're just stacked.
None of the carpeting's down, but they were there, and we were just like, oh, that's so cool. So we were all taking pictures. Like the tour got delayed because we were all taking pictures and everything. It was cool. Yeah,
that's really cool.
But you're right. It's like it's the kind of thing that you only would see in this environment, and it's the kind of thing that becomes that kid in a candy store kind of thing, and it brings out that joy that cars represent for so many people. And I think having it open to the public is really just such a valuable thing because it gives an opportunity that maybe that's when you bring your kid. Maybe he wants to be a car guy or an engineer or get into the car scene or whatever, and we're gonna take that Friday off of school. We're gonna make a long weekend. It's a lot of family stuff to do in Vegas, and so we need to focus on really bringing in that next generation.
Absolutely.
You hear stories all the time about oh yeah, my kid couldn't care less about getting their license or whatever. But then there's the ones that they're absolutely excited to do that, and that's cool. Those are the people that we should really be giving those opportunities to. And you have to assume that those are the people that are watching your podcast and seeing the online content. And we want them to see the culture in a positive way, so that they do engage in a positive way. I mean, the last thing you want to do is lose those people to a takeover.
Exactly.
And have those people do the stupid knucklehead stuff. But like, this is where there's cool stuff. There's cars, there's parts, there's cool stuff. There's a burnout yard. But it's illegal.
You
Safe
can go sit in that
space.
If you love breathing rubber all day, you can just sit at the burn yard and just sit in the bleachers and watch it for 8 hours if you want to do. Which is crazy. Like, I mean, I know it's marketing dollars, but like just the amount of tires, even at the horsepower rodeo, like Eric and I had walked around to where the tire machines were, and like I think it was Nitto's truck, just the stacks and stacks of tires, and I'm like, oh, I'm like, the business owner of me is going, that's like 5, 10, 15, right? Like it's like $5 a tire to dispose a tire these days.
Well, I mean, you don't have to dispose it if you just wear it all down.
Yeah,
all in little piles.
The EPA might say differently, but yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Come on, Matt.
I know. What was the other thing though? We had a distinguished guest on Sunday. Lee Zeldin, administrator of the EPA, came.
He's not still here because there's a lot of smoke going on out there.
Well, no, but that hadn't happened. We would have loved to have him here during the show to show the people and everything, but it happened to be he was in town for an event. He toured the Hoover Dam in the morning. He made a point of coming to SEMA show to talk to our board, talk to our leaders, just connect and see kind of what's happening. I don't think that would have been possible 2 years ago. The way that the tide has turned with our relationship with the EPA, with this new administration, is such a positive. And the fact that SEMA is on their radar, that the work that our office did, people like you, to come talk to lawmakers, to let people know in your audience and in your community exactly what was at stake and how we wanted to fix it and why we wanted to fix it. We have a very positive relationship with them that is only going to grow, and I think it's only going to continue to benefit the automotive community, certainly the aftermarket, and just get some common sense ideas on the table. And the fact that we could get a cabinet level member of the government to come to SEMA show and just hang out for 30 minutes or so, and
just to see this, I mean, the scale of it, right? Like, I think everyone knows it's the biggest show. Everyone knows how big this convention center is, but until you are here, and I beat it into Jed and Russ the whole morning, all on the monorail over here. I'm like, I'm telling you, you're gonna be blown away. And we walked in, and they were like, "Oh God," and I'm like, "Yep." And then even Eric, like today, I was talking to Eric, and he's like, "Yeah, I think I've seen everything." He's like, "I'm really disappointed that there's like no off-road stuff here." I'm like, "Did you not go to the West Hall?" And he's like, "What?" And
there's a West Hall?
he's like, "I was definitely in the West Hall." I was like, "And you missed all the off-road stuff?" And he goes, "All right, I'm just gonna follow you." And like we did a podcast this morning, and we went straight to the West Hall. We walked in, and we're like, Real Truck is right there in the corner. And he goes, "Oh my God." So it's like, I spent 2 days in West Hall. I didn't do anything else.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, just like between Torah, I've been doing some research on getting for restyling for the shop. So like,
oh cool.
I spent some time with the Pro Cup guys.
Oh, interesting. Because I was gonna say it's not just the off-road stuff that's over there. There's a lot of restyling stuff.
It's one of the local shops to us. That V12 off-road Ferrari build. He's local to us. So like I've done a bunch of work for him for some of his Bronco customers and some other stuff. His shop is going to color change the shop Jeep. So I spent some time over there talking to him about that and getting content for that thing. And it's just like there's just so much everywhere. And it's just you just until you're here you don't get it. And then to look at it and go, this is just the tip of what the aftermarket is. Like, there's so many people I know in the aftermarket that are like, SEMA's not worth it. And I'm like, I kind of understand what you're saying. But you can make it worth it.
Sure.
And that's, it's a huge thing. It's a huge industry.
Yeah.
And getting the representation for it is really important.
Yeah.
And you guys do a great job with that.
So. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I was trying to explain to someone, it's like, like Tom Cruise will like go, or, Tom Cruise level actor will go do the blockbuster Mission Impossible or Marvel movie or whatever and get that $25 million payday. And then you hear about them popping up on doing some like small play on off-Broadway or something like that. Like, I think Keanu Reeves right now is doing Waiting for Godot with Alex Winters from it's like the Bill and Ted reunion.
Okay.
But like, but he's done all those Matrix movies and the John Wick movies and everything. Like, it's like one for them, one for me, and the SEMA show is really the blockbuster movie payday that pays for everything else.
Right.
So everything that we're doing at the SEMA garage, everything that we are doing from an advocacy standpoint, and the education stuff, and just everything in between that the other 360 days out of the year that SEMA exists. It's made possible by this show. We're grateful for this show.
Yeah.
It makes our job easier because we know we have the resources, the clout, and the reputation to leverage.
Yeah. And I would say I feel like the reputation is even growing beyond what it was.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like, it's never been a small thing, and now it's everyone knows how big it is.
Right.
So yeah.
And it was, it's tough times right now. It's challenging for small businesses. I mean, it's not cheap out there, and Vegas hasn't gotten any cheaper.
True.
But we do still think that there's significant return on investment for being here.
Yeah.
And if you're on the fence, just it's a reminder, like, yeah, you're going to put your business on better footing to be here, and you're going to put our industry on better footing by being here and participating. So,
like, it's just, for me, it's always been the relationships, right? Like, it's just networking. If you want to do anything on any kind of scale outside of your immediate neighborhood, being able to have those contacts and those exposure to everything else and the ideas and the panels and the seminars, like, it's like I did a Torah Builders panel and was talking to everybody. Then I went to the Torah happy hour on Tuesday, and there was a question I wanted to ask that I didn't get to ask, and I pulled somebody aside, asked them a question, and that led, and it was completely unrelated, but then it led to, oh, well, my other company is a distributor. I can get you a better price on that.
Right.
Here's my card. Call me on Monday.
Right.
And I'm like, I was just asking a trend in the market.
And that's how quickly it can be.
Right.
That's how quickly it can be. And like, and part of it too is because everyone's busy and wants to make as much relationships as possible while they're here. So like, there's a little bit of a cut to the chase. Like, yes, we can make this happen. I've got your information. Let's do this. I mean, I literally have walked out of meetings or conversations, given someone my card, and like 15 seconds later, I'm getting a text from them, or there might be an email in my inbox like an hour later. Like, the days of like taking that stack of cards and going back on Monday and start wading through it, like, dear sir, it was wonderful meeting you. Please, let's, we have the ability through our phones. You can be on an escalator and be like, great meeting you. Here we go. Let's do it. And I can only imagine how many new interactions you're able to get. And
I walked over to yesterday morning. I walked over to turn 14.
Yeah.
I said, I had ordered some parts through a retailer because I needed the part. They had them in stock. And the part showed up, and the return address on the box was turn 14. And I was like, okay, so I guess turn 14 has this as inventory. So I walk over, I tell them that story. They laugh, and they're like, yeah, we carry a lot of Bilstein shocks. And I was like, perfect. I need an account. They handed me a QR code. I came up here. I opened my laptop, went to the link, filled out the form. This morning I got the email. Congratulations, you're approved. Here's your login info.
That's amazing.
And I'm like,
that's great.
Now I don't have to go hunting for shocks all the time.
So how much is the hands-on element of it to be able to actually pick things up and hold them and kind of see them?
With the new product stuff, it's good.
Yeah.
It's funny. I've always, I wouldn't say complained, but like, a lot of the companies that we work with that are smaller aren't here. So for me, it's good because I'm now comparing some of the bigger companies, the bigger products, and I'm able to go side by side and say, like, oh, I like this construction. I don't like this construction. This feature is cool. Like, hey, are you working on this feature? Just being able to do that and talk to the people who are building the product and understanding their mindset and like all the hidden details. like our buddy Russ that is helping me with media, and then with Jed with media, he's got a bunch of lights on his rig that were sponsored lights, and he's had tons of issues with them. Mm-hmm. So we were in another light company booth, and him and the lead engineer of the light company are talking about the problems and like how the pins would fall in and all this other stuff, and he's explaining how they mold their lights so they don't have that. And it's like this whole conversation where unless you have that conversation with the engineer, like that's not advertised on the website.
Right.
Like that is a firsthand experience. So now I understand why that light is $200 more than somebody else's.
Right.
And it's just like that's good experience because now I can confidently sell something to a customer.
Right.
So.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
So
it's
So what's next? What's next for you then coming out of this then?
Follow up on stuff. Obviously, new accounts, start placing initial orders, things like that. My goal this year was a lot of market research. Mm-hmm. With us kind of getting into some of that restyling and just kind of understanding what other trends people are seeing and kind of confirming some things I thought I knew, some things I did know, learn some new things. We want to kind of revamp how we sell some stuff based on what the market's doing.
Are you involved in any of the councils and networks?
We are Toro members.
Okay.
I probably don't. I wish I had more time to be more involved.
Sure. It's tough.
Yeah, it's like Toro. I think most of them are on the West Coast, right?
Like
maybe?
The events?
No, like people-wise, like.
I don't know. I've never seen a breakdown. I know that.
Fair.
I know that our.
I feel like every time I see like a Toro thing, it's got like a Pacific timestamp on it.
Oh, I mean that's probably because that might
coming out of Diamond Bar.
Yeah, coming out of Diamond Bar. Yeah, a lot of our meetings have Pacific timestamps.
Yeah, so it's just and like that gets tough because like my end of the day at the shop is the busiest.
Yeah.
So when it's a 2:00 meeting Pacific time, I'm like, that's 5:00. There's no way I'm getting that done. or worse, it's at like 11 a.m. my time, and I'm like, yeah, it's definitely not happening.
Yeah. It gets tricky. We'll have meetings that I'm like, you do realize you scheduled this at 5:30 on the East Coast.
That's true.
Like,
Because you have the same problem.
We're sorry. Would you like us to move that? And I'm like, if at all possible. Otherwise, I'm going to be on a bus.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm calling in while I'm sitting in traffic.
And there's no way I'm awake. I really value my bus nap time.
Yeah,
so.
the guy next to me will be at the meeting. I will not.
Yeah.
I want to be more involved, and I will find a way to get more involved in the future.
Yeah.
But right now it's still beneficial. Just it's funny because every year that I'm here, I have thoughts in my head. I'm like I think this is a good idea. I think this is going to work. And then I come here and I see the ideas in the parking lot. One, and two, I talk to people and they're like, "Yep, we're experiencing the exact same thing. We had the same thoughts." And I'm like, "Awesome!" Like, because it's tough to when you're in your little bubble to be in tune with what's going on, and especially in the DC area because we kind of we are a bubble, right? Like
100%.
I know I got buddies that run shops in other states, and they're all like, "Are you slow?" And I'm like, "No, I'm busier than ever this time of year." Like, what do you mean you're busy? The government shut down. How are you busy? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, but like that's like such a misconception. People are like, man, government shut down. What do you think? And I was like, well, I'm disappointed. They're like, yeah, disappointed in what? And I'm like, that there's not less traffic. Like, I don't understand. Like, how is it that like supposedly a third of the population is working in government?
Yeah.
But the traffic seems to be the exact same amount. So
it's funny because I made the mistake, and Trevor was the one that told me this, but I went into the first day of the government shutdown. I get to the shop, I look at Trevor, I'm like, man, if there's that many people out of work on the first day of the government shutdown, we do have too many employees. And
that was funny actually, because that was the day they told everyone to come in to get their laptops or they had to or sign something. There was some sort of administrative functionality where a lot of people had to go in. So because some people are still working from home or remotely or whatever, or they have staggered like where maybe that day is typically there. So the traffic was awful that day. Everyone was just like, what is going on? And like people were late to work and like we're all messaging each other. It made no sense. And I know that week too was when Zelensky came into town, the Ukrainian president.
Your DC
the World Bank was in town for their meeting. So there's always protests with that. So with Zelensky, because the Ukrainian embassies in Georgetown, they shut the Key Bridge.
Okay.
Because for strategic purposes. So now everything's getting crammed, and now they're shutting down stuff because of protests at the World Bank, and there's more people in town because, like, for whatever reason, that entire week was a lost week. We were just like, this is like the worst week.
That's funny because out in the suburbs we had the exact opposite. I remember getting to work in like 35 minutes.
Oh, for real?
And I'm like, this is ridiculous. We have that many people not at work right now. And Trevor goes, schools are closed. Oh, I'm like, why are schools closed?
Yeah, don't even get me started.
It was like some random
they get every holiday off, and like they get all these rando teacher work days too.
Yeah,
and
it was like a teacher work day.
And it's hard to keep track of, like, because it's like, I don't get that day off.
Right.
And like our friends are teachers, and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, that's that holiday." Where I was like, "I've never heard of that holiday." Like, good for them for getting that holiday, but like, my kid's never at school anymore. Like, he's just sitting there, and he's just like, "Can I go hang out with my girlfriend?" I'm like, "Okay, I'm not driving you. I'm going to work." Yeah. And she's like, "Well, someone's gonna drive me at noon and then pick me up at 3." And I'm like, "No, this is not happening. Like, get on your bike."
There's a thing called feet.
Yeah. Well, his girlfriend goes to a different school, and she's all the way across town. So it's amusing to watch them try to plan.
It's not that big.
Leesburg?
Yeah.
Do you know how many high schools are in Leesburg?
It was like 4, but
6.
Like that are considered Leesburg?
Yes.
Heritage, Loudoun County, Tuscarora,
Riverside.
I don't consider that Leesburg.
That's Lansdowne.
That's right. Are you counting all the Ashburn stuff then too?
I mean, you could probably make a case at Stonebridge, but like, because it's pretty darn close. But like, and we have a ton of schools.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a big impact when all those schools are closed. But like, even this week,
I love when schools close because there's just no traffic.
Yeah. They got Halloween off though this year.
And then they had Election Day.
Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because
they
Monday,
had a 5-day weekend for Halloween.
Yeah. Monday ended up being a teacher work day, and then Tuesday they used the schools for polling stations for voting, which we support.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I would argue if 14-year-old me had a 5-day weekend for Halloween, I probably would not be sitting here because I would more than likely have gotten myself in enough trouble.
Probably be in a diabetic coma. It's 4 days unsupervised with a bag of candy.
Candy was not the part I was worried about.
Oh yeah.
See, growing up in New Jersey, the night before Halloween was called Mischief Night.
Yeah.
So like, TPing and egging houses,
yeah,
and, like running around with shaving cream of your friends and all. Like it was a thing, and it was just like, if I didn't have to go to school on the 31st, and I was out on the 30th,
right?
Who knows what would happen?
Yeah,
that's a big digression.
Yeah.
For the Sema show. Anyway, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's been good. I gotta take a day and go through pictures and notes and figure out everything I've seen.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll take a time, a little bit of a breather. They give us a day off to kind of decompress.
I feel like you guys get more than a day. I'll call Spags. I'll tell him to give you guys more than a day off.
Thanks, appreciate that. I'll see him tonight. I'll let him know.
You're
gonna get a call from Tom.
Tim and I will bombard him. Hey, the Dirt Drive says that your employees need a week off after
the
Sema.
new Sema Action Network, call to action.
Here you go. With the government shutdown, you guys probably need some stuff to work on, right? So maybe it.
Yeah, so it's interesting because we did that humorous video
where it was great.
Eric and Juan were just like
playing golf. It was so good.
We actually used the opportunity because congressional staffs were still in, and because there wasn't specific stuff. I mean, so DC staff still live in DC. They still go into the office. So even though Congress might not be in session per se, like the House is out of session, the Senate's still working, but the House is out of session. There's a lot of opportunities to continue to do meetings. So we've been really pressing to get some legislation across the finish line in the sense of getting it introduced and starting that next phase of this specific to ADAS.
Yep.
So there's a member of Congress from Tennessee, Diana Hirschberger.
Mm-hmm.
She is going to sponsor legislation that is going to bring some certainty to ADAS policy in terms of modification. We're hopeful that that's going to start a steady climb towards becoming a law and being part of the highway bill probably in 2026.
Yeah.
So we were able to get that language going. We had we did a fly-in where we brought in some experts from the industry who know how to really talk about ADAS in a way that, like, you know, a member of Congress or a congressional staffer understand, and really just understand some of the technical implications. So they did that, and that was really a positive. And you know, we just, I mean, the nice part about the government being shut down is we don't get those gotcha moments, those random surprises and fires that we need to put out. There's not anything just randomly dropping that we need to be responsive to. So there's a little bit more consistency, but I don't think the work ever really slowed down.
That's good.
Certainly not at the state level. I mean, but it's like, it's the same, but it's the same thing with the state people, where you sit there and you go, yeah, well, most legislative sessions are done. Most sessions happen in the spring, or heaven forbid, some of them linger into the summer months, whatever. But, like, you know, there is a point where there just isn't much going on in a very strict sense. They're going to be, you know, running around with their hair on fire in January and February. So, you know, we're doing our best to support them and do a lot of lead work that can help, you know, pave the way for their success when they go in there. So it's like things like we're going to be pushing right to race legislation in the state. So I don't know if you're familiar with what happened in Iowa and
with the racetracks
in North Carolina, but basically the idea is that if I've had a racetrack that I've been operating for 50 years, and then you decide to build a set of townhouses a quarter mile away, those townhouse residents don't get to complain and get my racetrack shut down when they're like, whoa, I didn't know a racetrack was loud.
I probably should have asked this question a while ago.
Yeah.
But could that language easily include off-road parks?
I think
private property parks.
I think we could. Are there a lot of nuisance complaints that come out of that from, like, dust particulates and?
Not that I'm aware of.
Sure.
Because, and this is why, like, this is me thinking ahead, right? Like I grew up 2 miles from Englishtown Raceway Park. So when I was a kid, Raceway Park was in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you left our town and it was just woods around it. And then by the time I was in middle school, they were building neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And, like, I mean, I could hear the races from my house, but it wasn't uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. But as soon as they built up around it, everything gets harder. Mm-hmm. The townships and the counties and everybody else start making it more difficult, taxing whatever it is, right? So all these rules are good, but as everything expands and we do start going outward, you know, I look at it, these private properties are hundreds and thousands of acres, and they are in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But at some point, maybe it is 15, 20 years down the road, does it start to develop around them?
Well, I mean, I think that's part of it, and I think what's always an interesting quirk and challenge of state governments is every state's unique, and you're working through. I can hand you model legislation that you could presumably file that day, but, like, everyone wants to make it their own, and they've got their own unique needs and understandings and concerns or whatever. Every bill winds up being a little bit different. Yeah. But, you know, the nice part about having a little bit of momentum and starting to work through some of those low-hanging fruit states is you can start having those conversations. And I think the feedback that you have, I think it's super valuable, because, you know, we are focused specifically on racetracks right now because that's where we're seeing the problems. But you looking, you know, 20 years in the future, at the end of the day, the principle largely remains the same. And if you were there first, you don't get to, someone else doesn't get to come in and complain that you were doing the thing that you were there first doing. Yeah. And that's something that has resonated on a bipartisan nature in 2 states now, in Iowa and North Carolina, and we're looking forward to other states. We've already got really positive feedback from places like Michigan and Georgia and Ohio and Kansas, and, like, there's Wisconsin. There's a lot of appetite for this because people understand it's silly. It's absolutely silly that, you know, a small business because racetracks largely are small businesses, that it's one more headache that they need to worry about. Yep. Like, let's help them focus on keeping open and you know, marketing themselves to, you know, new customers and new enthusiasts, and not have to worry about a stupid lawsuit, you know,
because some developer decided to put 13 townhouses on 1 acre outside their property.
100%. Yeah. Right. So, but it's good feedback, and I would expect that whatever language we're using right now, those parks would fall under that.
I mean,
that umbrella.
I would imagine that's a
but there's always an opportunity to amend
lawyer
it.
Question,
but there's always an opportunity to amend a bill, or it's sometimes when something's on the books, it's very easy to say this is the same thing, but it's for this, and it's largely the same, and there's the same economic impact or whatever, and then people are like, well, we've already got this for them, so we'll do it for them too. So it becomes a much more. I mean, it's that idea again of like paving that road so that people can go through and have a more smooth ride the second time around. So, but yeah, that's a big part of what we're focused on. So, that's a lot of the work we're doing right now in the DC office is really prepping for, the things that are coming. And we know that once the government reopens, it's going to be a mad dash to the end of the year. And there's like, the motorsports tax credit's going to be expiring. We're hoping to get that across the finish line, whether it's an extension or it's actually made permanent. And then, the stuff that we're doing for, the off-road community, we didn't, we submitted comments for Moab. I'm not sure if you saw those, but, really just supporting the additional reopening of trails at, is it Gemini Bridges?
Yep, Gemini Bridges.
I'm glad I didn't butcher that one, though.
Uh,
Johnson Valley, Jackson Valley, all over again.
But I forget what the other section was. Yeah, anyway.
Point is that we had some really good developments that that's a real positive thing.
Yeah.
So we were developing out those comments that we submitted to the federal government, to the Bureau of Land Management, saying, yeah, this is a good thing, this is a great start, and we appreciate their willingness to reconsider past policies that weren't necessarily to the benefit of anybody.
Yeah.
So I mean that obviously took place. That came from the regulatory side and the agency side, and they're definitely those things got released, and they were something we still needed to pay attention for.
Yeah.
And then life goes on. We've got a lot of going. Well, we were all prepping for SEMA show, so that took a lot of energy, and we'll shift right into prepping for PRI show, which is in December.
It's like a month away.
It's a month away. I'm actually not going, so I'll just be supporting that part, but from afar. But silly things like that.
Yep.
I'm going to Uzbekistan.
Okay. For fun?
For work.
For work.
For
FIA stuff.
Yeah. So FIA's General Assemblies is happening there, and this will be the first General Assemblies that SEMA will be participating in as a full member. So
very cool.
The FIA elections you've heard about probably in the news. Yeah, that's where it's going to actually take place.
Cool. And you're going to be there for that?
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. So Tashkent, Uzbekistan.
Yeah.
Be there or be square.
Okay. I don't know if I can make that one.
Indianapolis
is going to be hard enough.
It's a very long flight. I literally depart on the 6th and arrive on the 8th.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because of all the time zones that you're flooding through or whatever. So
that's still going to be cool. That's like a country that you would never go to unless you had something like that.
100%. 100%. So you just take the opportunity, and
I hear they're good off-roading. Like that's not a joke.
I've heard that too. Yeah. I've heard that you go out into that outside. There aren't many cities there, but it's gorgeous and open and whatever.
Like Mongolia, like that whole part of the world is just
so there you go.
Stunning.
Right. Yeah. And and I think one of the things that's interesting about FIA is they're not afraid to go to some of those less visited areas and really kind of celebrate the automotive heritage and motorsports culture of those areas. I didn't realize this, and I'll see it in person, but Tashkent, 90% of the cars are Chevrolet.
Interesting.
Because there was a factory there.
Okay.
And during the 70s and 80s, they were just churning out Chevys.
So they're old. It's old stuff.
It's old stuff, but it's also new stuff too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's the case in a lot of places in Europe. Like England has a thing about Fords, right? Like there's a whole separate line of Ford UK stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'll be taking a lot of pictures and just kind of soaking it all in. And,
cool. Well, let's wrap it up and get out of here because I feel like I'm going to fall asleep on the stage. I might be opening up the media center.
It got so quiet right now, and
great.
It's just like, this is peaceful. This is lovely.
I don't know what air conditioning they use in the convention center, but I need it for my house because it's the perfect temperature no matter how many people are in.
Can I tell you? Sunday, Monday, were miserable here.
They don't turn it on until.
Well, it wasn't that it's on, it's like all the doors are open because they're bringing in everything. And so it's oppressive. It's really warm.
It's November and it's 85 degrees
which is still pretty decent for this area, but in here it was just uncomfortable, and it's just
no
like
airflow.
2 days of doing it. Yeah, so.
Well, thanks for taking the time.
Yeah.
I know it's been a busy week. You got one more day.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. It's glad we could squeeze it in. Run out of talking abilities. Well, you guys know where to find us. Sema Action Network for Matt. The Matt Daigle? Matt Daigle?
No, I'm just Matt Daigle. Yeah.
Matt Daigle. If you really want to follow Matt individually, he does do. You can check out his Uzbekistan trip.
Yeah, that'll be coming up.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, man.
Appreciate it.
Get out of here.
Sounds good.